Everyone, welcome to the show. I have some truly jaw-dropping news to report in the Dominion Voting Systems lawsuit against Fox. This is as close to smoking gun as it gets, and I'm not over-exaggerating that. It also really spells bad news for Trump in the January 6th investigation, which I'll explain. So here's the deal. Former Maria Bartiromo and Tucker Carlson producer Abby Grossman amended her lawsuit against Fox, and she says the network hid evidence from Dominion. Grossberg has audio recordings of Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, and a Trump campaign official admitting to the fact that they had no election fraud evidence. Grossberg says, though, that Fox, quote, deliberately or recklessly failed to produce highly relevant recordings of behind-the-scenes conversations. Now, according to Grossberg, in mid-November of 2020, both Giuliani and Powell had conversations with Bartiromo. This was in preparation for their upcoming appearances on her show. As a then producer for the show, Grossberg recorded those conversations, and she says Fox's control room heard everything. So at one point, Bartiromo is asking Giuliani what evidence he has to prove that Dominion rigged the election, and Giuliani can't answer the question. Giuliani then admits that they have no evidence that ties Nancy Pelosi to Dominion, which was one of these fairy tales, one of these conspiracy theories that was going around. So take a listen to this recording. This was obtained by MSNBC last night.
I'm going to be asking you for as much evidence as you can tell us about these lawsuits. Whatever you can tell us in terms of evidence would be really helpful. Okay, great.
I can tell you exactly what we have.
Perfect. And what about this software, this Dominion software?
That's a little harder
troubling
to tell you. Right, it's being analyzed right now. I mean, there are a couple of races that have been reversed because the Democrat was triple counted, two already in Michigan. Now, whether that applies to the whole state or not, I can't tell you yet.
This Dominion software, does Nancy Pelosi have an interest in it?
I've read that. I can't prove that yet.
Okay.
So this is crucial evidence because Sidney Powell repeated the false allegations, supposedly from her internally decapitated source, that Pelosi had some sort of involvement in Dominion. And when Powell was prepped for the show, she was asked also about evidence regarding Dominion flipping votes with their software. The only thing Powell would say was that the Trump campaign had, quote, a witness who's given a foreign declaration about how it was created, why it was created, and watched it work. But we all know that Powell was asked repeatedly to provide evidence to back up her claims, and she failed to turn anything over. And those requests were made by Fox host Tucker Carlson. In fact, we all saw the text messages. He went on to call her a liar. He called her the B word, the C word in messages to Fox hosts, Fox producers. So Grossberg also said in her filing that in December of 2020, weeks prior to the Capitol attack, a, quote, high-ranking advisor to spokesperson for President Trump and the Trump 2020 presidential campaign also was captured on audio admitting that there were no issues with the voting machines. Here's a portion of that recording. This was also obtained by MSNBC.
Are any of the machines, I know it was on War Room the other day with Steve Bannon, have any of the machines been looked at? He had said that one was looked at in Georgia.
I'd have to check on that in terms of Georgia. I know during the audit they did check on those machines. They're really, if we can just go off the record for 1 sec here.
Yeah, of course. I don't want us to say it if it's not. That's why we're checking.
I think they have looked at the machines. When the Secretary of State did its audit, there was a fair bit of looking at the machines. The audit came in pretty darn close to what the machine count was with the receipts. So, I don't know the outcome of those, but our understanding, again, this is from the Secretary of State's office, was that there weren't any physical issues with machines on those inspections.
And according to Grossberg, this high-ranking official also basically voiced his concern to Bartiromo that no one was picking up on January 6th. And he said that this concerned him because this was a key date for the Trump team, that they were going to use this date to backstop the election. That was a quote, backstop. So all of this was revealed in court yesterday. The judge listened to the recordings, and then he announced that he's appointing a special master to review Fox's documents, their internal communications, everything. He wants to determine if they withheld any additional evidence. So the judge overseeing this matter is Superior Court Judge Eric Davis, and he said, quote, "I am very concerned that there have been misrepresentations to the court. This is very serious." As one of the sanctions against Fox, Judge Davis ordered Dominion to be given the opportunity to conduct additional depositions if they wish to do so. The judge said that Fox needs to make everyone available to them and that they need to pay for it. And then after he receives feedback from the special master he's appointing, the judge will decide if he needs to sanction Fox over and above these depositions. That could, I'm assuming, mean monetary sanctions. Also, I know they said that it could also mean that the jurors are informed that Fox made an attempt to try to hide this information, like relevant evidence from Dominion. And if the jury is told that they purposely withheld this damning information, we're probably going to see punitive damages that dwarf the other damages they're asking for. And I think it's pretty clear, if they did this purposely, if they hid this information on purpose, and this wasn't just an oversight, they did it to protect Trump and to protect his allies, because the evidence against Fox was already so overwhelming and damning. What possible reason could they have for concealing these recordings if not to protect Trump and the others? Because this directly implicates Trump. This evidence can be used against him now in the Justice Department's probe of January 6th, you know, in other civil cases against him. Because there's no way that a quote unquote high level Trump spokesperson knew that they had no evidence of voting machine fraud, but Trump wasn't aware of it. Trump had no idea. He was just clueless. You know, at the very least, this man, whoever he is going to be hauled in for questioning by Jack Smith, if he hasn't already. Now, there's some question as to whether or not the trial is going to be delayed while they conduct these additional depositions, but that doesn't appear to be the case. It's looking like the trial is going to commence at the scheduled time and date, and this will go on while the depositions are being conducted, because the jury selection began today. I believe it also concluded today. It may run into tomorrow, but Dominion's attorney said up front they're going to exclude any potential juror who has favorable opinions of Mike Lindell and Rudy Giuliani. And as it stood this morning, there were 82 potential jurors that were brought in overall. Of those 82, 23 reported no potential bias, but then there were 59 others who were going to be questioned in front of the judge. Then he decides, of those 59, how many will be considered for the jury pool. And the judge said he's not going to automatically disqualify anyone who may have voted for Trump in 2020, or the other way around, Biden. He's not going to, that's not a limiting factor. He's also going to limit Dominion's questioning about Fox viewership. He said they wanted to ask multiple questions about, you know, do you watch them online? Do you follow them online? Do you watch, how many hours do you watch the show? He said, no, you have to have one catch-all question. So they're going to have to craft that very carefully to see, you know, how big of a fan a juror might be. So anyway, guys, I will keep you posted on all of this, but this is just unbelievable news on top of the already unbelievable news that we had in this case. I do not see how, in any way, shape, or form, how Fox gets out of this. Everything is in black and white and in audio. Lordy, there are tapes. So I will let you know if I hear any more. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please become a supporter if you can. Love you all. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.